Welcome back to Something Felt Wrong, where the stories are real and so are the consequences.
There are moments where your body understands something before your mind is willing to. A man came leaping out of the bushes, right in front of me, in the dark, and I was standing there, pants unzipped, completely frozen. He brushed past me without a word, spit on the ground, and disappeared into the night. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. My brain just refused. But that wasn't even the worst part. Let me tell you how we got there. It started as a completely ordinary shift. I deliver pizza. It's not glamorous, but it pays. And most nights, it's just driving, knocking, collecting, repeat. That particular night was slammed. Non-stop runs, back to back, not a single gap to breathe. We were in the middle of a brutal heat wave, and I'd been drinking water constantly just to function. My car's air conditioning is basically decorative, and riding around with stacks of piping hot pizzas doesn't exactly help. So I was hot. I was rushed. And somewhere around my fifth or sixth delivery, I realized I hadn't stopped to use the bathroom once. And then, like a switch flipped, it became urgent. It went from manageable to desperate in about 30 seconds flat. Thankfully, the next address wasn't far. I figured I'd knock, hand it off, get tipped, and find a gas station before the wheels came off. Simple enough plan. It wasn't a simple enough night. Before we get into what happened, have you ever been in a situation where something felt just slightly off but you couldn't name it yet? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Because that exact feeling is what hit me the moment I pulled up to this house. I knew this area. A big university neighborhood, lots of student rentals, lots of turnover. But it was July, which meant the block had mostly emptied out for summer. I pulled up and immediately felt it. Every house on the street had some sign of life. A lit window, a television flickering, a porch light. Every house except this one. Complete darkness. And the street light right in front of the door. Dead. Someone had placed this order. Someone was supposedly home, but nothing about this house said anyone was inside. I didn't get out. I sat in my car, sweating through my shirt, and called the number on the order. The voice that picked up was brusque, out of breath. Yeah? I kept it short. Hey, it's your pizza, but there doesn't appear to be anybody home. Yeah, the voice said. I'm not home. Look, I was desperate, I was overheated, and my patience had evaporated somewhere around delivery number 4. So I said, and I'm not proud of this, well then, we're going to have to cancel the order. You were supposed to pay cash. I've arrived in the delivery window. I don't know what to tell you. Plan ahead next time. I regretted it the second it came out, because then the breathing on the other end shifted, and the voice came through clearly. Young, bubbly, completely panicked. She couldn't have been older than 25. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was literally running down the street. I could barely hear you. I just switched you out of my AirPods. I lost track of time at work, but I knew you were coming. That's why I'm running right now. Please don't leave. I'm starving and I don't have a car. 5 minutes tops, please. The guilt hit me fast. I'd delivered to this address before. She'd always been perfectly nice. I apologized, told her to take her time, and hung up. And that's when the situation I was in fully reasserted itself. I was parked in front of a dark, empty house in 90-degree heat with no gas station in sight and no options. I looked around the block. Every other house was occupied, lit up, windows open. No trees, no shadows, nothing, except the bushes in front of the house I was parked at. She wasn't home. The street light was out. Nobody would see me. I told myself this was fine. Animals do this. Humans are animals. It's fine. I crossed the street and found the tallest cluster, a thick row of bushes running right alongside her front walkway, maybe 4 feet from the door. I looked both ways, unzipped, and went. The sound was wrong, immediately, instantly wrong. Not the soft sound of leaves and soil. Something solid. Something that shouldn't have been there. I squinted into the darkness, trying to work out what I'd aimed wrong, when. What the fuck? A deep voice from inside the bushes. And then a man came launching out, brushing past me, spitting hard on the ground, and he was gone. Just like that. A few paces and darkness swallowed him. Seconds later, I heard tires screech from somewhere down the block. I didn't move. I didn't zip up. I just stood there. My mind was doing something strange. It was searching, desperately searching for an explanation that would make this okay. Maybe the bushes wrapped around to a backyard. Maybe there was an open window. Maybe there was a completely normal reason for this. But the man had been wearing a hoodie. In 90-degree heat, at 9:30 at night, hiding in a young woman's bushes, and instead of running, instead of doing anything sensible, I walked over and turned on my phone flashlight to look behind the bushes. There was a bag, tattered drawstring, partially wet. I picked it up. Inside, a knife, duct tape, a bottle of pills. If your stomach just dropped, hit that like button. Because I haven't even told you what happened next. Every single thing my brain had been suppressing detonated at once. I dropped the bag, sprinted across the street, threw myself into my car, and floored it before the door was fully closed. I drove until I hit a red light, then pulled into a 24-hour pharmacy parking lot, engine still running, hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the wheel. First thought, who do I call? The police? Or her? I started to dial her number, and then it hit me. What if there was no girl? What if she was a decoy? What if I'd been lured there? I called 911. The operator was calm and steady. I was not. I tried to explain everything at once. The man, the bag, the girl. The possibility that there was no girl. The possibility that there were more men in other bushes I hadn't checked. And at some point, the operator very gently asked me to stop talking and stay on the line. That's when her text came through. "Hey, I'm here, don't see you." She was there. She was real, and she was walking toward that house. I put 911 on mute, and I turned the car around. I drove back muttering, "Fuck, fuck, fuck," under my breath the entire way. Took 911 off mute, told them I'd returned. They weren't happy, but I spotted her almost immediately, wandering between parked cars, looking for mine. I flashed my brights. She bounced over to the window, completely at ease. Happy-go-lucky. I kept my voice as level as I could manage. "There was a man in your bushes. I'm on the phone with the police. I don't know where he is right now. Please get in the car so we can lock the doors." She got in. No questions. Immediately. I found out later that wasn't because of the 911 screen I'd held up to prove it. It was because she knew exactly who I was describing from those few words alone. An abusive ex-boyfriend. Apparently unstable enough that "there's a man in your bushes" pointed straight to him without any further detail needed. If stories like this are your thing, real people, real fear, real consequences, hit subscribe. New story every week, and the next one took 7 years to unravel. We drove to the location 911 instructed. Officers met us, cleared the area, took our statements. She spoke with police far longer than I did. There was history there that went well beyond one night. She called the shop a few days later to thank me and leave a tip. I wasn't there when it came in, so the kid who answered just took it. But my manager made sure the next time she came in, she left with enough free pizza cards to last her a very long time. I'm not the same after that night. I know that sounds like something people say, but I mean it, literally. Something shifted, and it hasn't shifted back. Because here's what stays with me. That man wasn't there for me. I was just a pizza delivery driver who happened to need to use the bathroom. I stumbled into something I was never meant to see. A plan that had nothing to do with me and everything to do with her. And I almost just drove away. Do you think I made the right call going back for her? Or was that the dumbest thing I could have done? Tell me in the comments. Because I've gone back and forth on it 100 times. Some nights I still replay the moment that sound was wrong. That half second before everything fell apart. The universe giving me one last chance to register what I was standing next to. To the man in the bushes. I hope you never get that close to anyone again. If you made it to the end, this story clearly meant something to you. A like, a comment, or sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. Any of those help us keep making stories like this. Subscribe if you want more.